Well, your water could be sold to the highest bidder, and East Texas candidates want to change that. Incumbent Republican Representative Cody Harris is facing a primary challenge from Daniel Hunt. Our Michael Richardson sat down with both men to talk about their priorities, which include protecting East Texas groundwater.
We have a big fight ahead of us on this water issue.
Under Texas law, if you own land, you can pump unlimited groundwater, even if it drains your neighbor's well. It's called the rule of capture, and both candidates in the race for House District 8 say it needs to change. Incumbent Republican Representative Cody Harris is seeking a fifth term in Austin. His challenger is Daniel Hunt, a criminal defense attorney and former Henderson County GOP chair. Harris says the state needs to prevent groundwater from being pumped and sold far from its source.
What I've got to do is begin to educate the legislature and the rest of the members on how depleting groundwater in East Texas translates to the people in Houston.
Hunt says an option could be limiting how far groundwater can be transported.
Maybe we could do something like if you're going to take more than X amount of gallons of water out of the aquifer, then you can't transport it more than X amount of miles from the source.
Harris says border security remains a priority.
We need to make sure that we're never in the position that we were a few years ago, where we had the tens of thousands of people coming across illegally.
Hunt wants to cut property taxes and reduce government regulations.
But I think there's ways that we can trim our state budget. If we reduce the amount of regulation, we can reduce the size of the state government, the manpower of the state government.
Whoever wins will help decide the issues in Austin. Michael Richardson, KLTV 7 News.
And early voting in the primary started today and will continue through next Friday. Election day is Tuesday, March 3rd.